Welcome to my channel. If you've been quietly holding it all together, if you're tired in a way that rest hasn't touched, if you're the one others lean on, even when your own shoulders ache, you found the right place. Here, your weariness is seen, and your softness is safe. So, I invite you to close your eyes, let go of the need to perform, and listen in a way that lets something inside you exhale. And as you settle in, you might even feel a gentle pull to subscribe to this channel as a gift to the part of you that's ready to feel held instead of always holding. This is your time now. Let the story carry whatever you don't have to anymore. Let's begin. The Weight That Had No Name. A hypnotic story about weariness, invisible load, and the quiet return to self. Here is a story written for someone who isn't burnt out in a dramatic way, just tired. Soul tired, life worn, the kind of fatigue that can't be solved with sleep alone. Her name was Kim, and lately everything felt heavier. Not just her body, not just her eyelids when the night came and sleep wouldn't, not just her inbox, her calendar, her list of things she meant to get done days ago. No, it was something subtler, slower, quieter. Like gravity had changed its mind about her. Like the very act of being required more energy than she had to give. She didn't feel broken, or desperate, or in crisis. She was just tired. The kind of tired that doesn't show up in lab work. The kind of tired that can still smile, still show up, still answer, "I'm okay," even when something inside her whispers otherwise. There was no defining event, no collapse, only the quiet erosion of vitality, of wanting, of color. She remembered once, years ago, feeling lit from within, feeling like she could dance for hours without needing to ask why, like joy didn't need permission. Now, even music felt like background noise. She wasn't depressed exactly. She was functioning. She was productive. But everything she did felt like a second-hand, invisible cost. Like she had to pay for it with parts of herself she hadn't noticed were depleting. And no one could see it, because from the outside, Kim had mastered something. The art of seeming fine. She was good at pacing herself, good at showing up when it mattered, good at caring for others. But she had forgotten something. Something small. Something essential. One day, after a long stretch of tasks and pushing past the invisible edge, she sat in the corner of her home and didn't reach for her phone. Didn't open a book. Didn't even try to distract herself with something productive. She just sat. The hum of the world continued. Cars passing. Notifications lighting up. The slow crawl of time. But she didn't respond. And in that pause, something happened. Something didn't break, but something stopped. a kind of holding, let go. It wasn't dramatic, not a revelation, not a tear-streaked moment of clarity, just a shift. Barely perceptible, but unmistakably there, as if a muscle she didn't know had been clenched for years, finally softened. Not because she willed it to, but because she gave it space. And in that space, she noticed something. Not a voice, not a message, not even a feeling, but a presence. The quiet sense that she was still in there, beneath the performance, beneath the to-do list, beneath the roles she carried with grace. There was still a her, and that her wasn't tired. She was simply waiting for Kim to stop outrunning her own need for rest. Not rest like a nap, not rest like sleep, but the kind of rest that happens when you finally let yourself not have to be so much for everyone else. The kind of rest that asks nothing, requires nothing, explains nothing. She didn't move for a long time, and yet she had never been more alive. Because for the first time in what felt like forever, Kim was not performing presence. She was living in it, letting herself be without trying to improve, solve, fix, achieve, or sparkle. She simply was, and that was enough. Over the days that followed, not much changed on the outside. She still answered emails, still made dinner, still remembered birthdays. But something underneath the surface began to unfurl. Not quickly, not in a straight line, but gradually, like warmth returning to a limb she hadn't noticed was cold. She began saying no to things that drained her. She began listening to the parts of herself that didn't speak in words. She began choosing softness, where before she had only knew how to push. And most of all, she stopped trying to earn her right to pause. Because what she realized in that moment of stillness was something she had always known, somewhere deep. That rest was not a reward. It is a return to truth, to presence, to herself. And the weight she once carried, it had never been hers to bear alone. It was a weight of unspoken expectations, the burden of performing okayness, the invisible tax of always holding it together. And now, she was done. Not with life, not with love, not with effort. Just the part of her that believed she had been more than who she already was. And in that release, Kim became more of herself than she had ever been before. Hypnotic induction. You don't have to carry it anymore. So just begin by letting yourself be here. Not all at once, not completely, just enough. Enough to begin the edge of this moment, beginning to soften around you. You've been holding so much for so long in ways no one else can see. And now, this is your moment to stop. Not forever. Not for anyone else. Just for now. Let the body begin to remember what it feels like not to brace. Let the breath become less intentional and more allowed. Let the shoulders release the grip on whatever invisible weight they've been carrying. You don't have to name it. In fact, it may never have had a name. It's just something you learn to carry. And here, in the quiet of this space, you're allowed to set it down. That's right. Let it go unnoticed by the world and fully known by you. Because this isn't about collapsing. It's about unhooking. Unhooking from the idea that rest must be earned. That softness is weakness. That you must always be more than you are. You don't have to try it right now. Not to fix. Not to explain. Not to hold anything together. You are not a project. You are a presence. And this is where presence returns. So allow your inner world to drift gently inward, drifting down through the layers of performance and expectations and the tired smiles, drifting past the parts of you that know how to keep going even when you don't want to, and arriving softly at the place inside you that simply wants to be met, not fixed, not improved, just met as it is. The part of you that is still intact, still luminous, still whole, beneath the wear and the weight. And you can rest there now, not to sleep, but to rest. The kind that asks for nothing, demands nothing, proves nothing. Just being, just breathing, just as you are. And as you settle here, as your body unwinds in its own quiet rhythm, you may begin to feel something new. Not a rush, not a revelation, but a subtle shift, a permission to return, to soften, to reclaim yourself from everything you thought you had to be, because you don't have to carry it anymore. Not here, not now. Stay here now for a few more breaths. Feeling the steady, sacred rhythm of your own being. And when you are ready, carry this shift with you Trust it. You are enough. And you are home. So the key meanings of the story. Number 1. Invisible fatigue is real. Kim's story honors a form of exhaustion that is often dismissed because it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. It speaks to those who are high-functioning, dependable, composed, but quietly unraveling. The theme? You don't need to collapse to be allowed to rest. Number 2. Emotional load can be unconscious. The weight Kim carries has no clear source because it was built over time through expectations, unspoken roles, and the quiet pressure to be okay. Metaphor? The heaviness without a name reflects the emotional labor many carry without awareness or validation. Number 3. Rest is not a reward. One of the deepest embedded messages, Kim doesn't earn her pause. She allows it. This breaks the narrative that rest must be justified by exhaustion, productivity, or burnout. Reframe? Rest as a form of self-return, not self-indulgence. Number 4. You can appear fine and still be drained. The story normalizes the disconnect between outer appearance and inner truth. Many people maintain functionality while feeling disconnected or hollow. Insight? High-functioning fatigue is still a cry for restoration. Number 5. The self doesn't disappear. It waits. Kim doesn't reinvent herself. She rediscovers the part that was always there. The self she lost was never gone, just buried under years of silent performance. Message? You are not broken, just buried beneath everything you thought you had to be. And number 6. Healing doesn't require a crisis. Unlike stories driven by collapse or trauma, Kim's story unfolds in stillness. It teaches that transformation can come gently, subtly, even invisibly. Subtext: slowing down is its own medicine. And if this story found something inside you that needed to be heard, take a moment to subscribe. Not just stay connected, but to remind yourself that your own healing matters. Thank you for being here. Thank you for resting. And thank you for remembering who you are beneath it all. Until next time, be well.